going on? Is it too loud? Can you hear me? I don't know. Versing. This is Versing. Local band I saw this weekend. Digging it. This is my favorite root beer. Dig it. Yum. Alright, that was Versing. This is Video Journal, theZim's Video Journal, episode 104. Thanks for joining. Hope you're having a good night or day or whenever you're watching this. I'm doing alright. I'll tell you more about it. I'll tell you everything that went down. This is my video journal. This is where I talk about everything that went down, my musical and artistic journey over the last week or so. So let's get, where should we start? Versing. I'll tell you why I was playing Versing. Versing is, I caught them at Adam Way & Co.'s tape release, volume 1. They played, and I was super, super stoked on them. It was so this weekend, on Friday night, really great night of music. There were 4 potential shows that I saw, and there were maybe even more, but there were 4 shows that I saw that I was really would have been loved to catch all 4, but I decided on 2 of them, and the 2 were the one I just mentioned, the tape release. It was at Everyday Music on Capitol Hill. It was this kind of in-store concert thing with Versing, with EG, and with Great Grandpa. Great show. All the bands were a lot of fun. And, well, that show happened. And then after that, I went down to the substation and hung out with Spit in the Well. There's their sticker right there. Spit in the Well. And right there. I hung out with Spit in the Well and who else? And The Valley opened that show, caught some of their set, and 2 other bands that I don't remember the names of. So, but I videotaped the whole thing and got some pictures with the camera, with the point and shoot as well. This is old enough that it doesn't have any video capabilities, so I had both of these cameras hanging off of me, and I was trying to get stuff. It turns out, so I'll get into that in a sec, but it turns out that my biggest kind of surprise of the weekend was discovering Versing. They were really rad. I really enjoyed them, so I downloaded their music. It's free on Bandcamp if you want it to be. I kind of gotta watch my pennies right now, so anyways, enough on that. But check them out. But also, I videotaped. I don't know what else I was gonna say, but I videotaped the whole weekend. The whole day, Friday. And so I have to figure out how I'm going to cut it all together. It's going to be a little bit different, I know already, than it's not going to be a documentary quite thing, and it's not going to be just music, because I didn't get really any of the video, all of the audio that the band was all distorted and crappy. So I'm probably going to use like their recorded audio and mix that in with some of the visuals and cut it up differently than I normally do, but we'll see how it goes. So stay tuned for that. It usually takes me a month or more to get any of that kind of work done. So that's what I did on Friday. What'd you do last Friday this weekend? Did you catch any good shows? Tell me about them. I'm gonna tell you. I wrote down a bunch of things. So this last week we'll get into so first off, if T-Bossa, if you're watching this, I don't know if I'm gonna use the video you sent me, because editing it it takes a lot of work, and don't have the energy to do that. So what T-Bossa sent me some video about Reverb Nation, and you've heard me go off on Reverb Nation before, and it was kind of more of the same stuff. So maybe down the line I'll use it, but right now I'm not going to use it. He said I was supposed to use it a while ago, but anyways. So we had 2 podcasts this week. I dropped 2. I dropped a bonus one because, like I said on the podcast, I kind of recorded. I had too many in the can, so I have to get them out so they don't get too old. So I stuck the one with Dire Fire in on Tuesday. Basically, I don't really have a lot to talk in depth about that conversation other than they were a great example of me not knowing anything about a band. They approached me through the internet, and based on what I saw on the internet is what inspired me to say okay to them. So it's going to be, I don't know how often that's going to happen. I've got a couple more people are asking to be on and things like that. But most of the podcasts are bins that I reach out to, which is fine. Which the second one I did on Thursday, the normal day, Katie Kirkgee, she's an artist, and that was really cool. I actually did write a few things. There's a couple behind the scenes things to talk about. One major behind the scenes thing to talk about was like I told you last week about the one with Strive. So the one with Katie was the one that was recorded right after Strive. So it was the Strive guys came in, then Katie came in, and then I was, I told you about the anxiety panic attack I was having while recording the one with Strive. The medicine I take was kind of running its effects, and it was still, lingering in my system while I was talking to Katie. And I really, really enjoyed the conversation with Katie, but personally, for me, listening back to my voice, it felt I could hear the drugs in my voice, and it really disappointed me. So, and I didn't like it. I don't like it. It made me drowsy sounding, kind of slurred sounding a little bit, and I don't know how it translated for you, but that's the way it felt for me, and I'm not happy with that. So I'll talk about more of that in a second, but I'll come back to that. But I just want to finish off two other things. One, we talked about Dale Chihuly. I don't know even if I was pronouncing it correctly on the podcast, but Chihuly, I don't know how to pronounce it. But the glassblower that's from Seattle, we talked about him, and one of the ideas that came up for me personally is like, there's this idea. I'm not a big fan of his art, mainly because I like it, it's pretty and everything, but I enjoy what I go after when it art. I think more often I don't know, it's really all over the place, but I guess I just get disappointed that he has such power, I guess you could say, that to not say something with your art just doesn't feel right to me. But I don't know enough about him. I'm sure he does a lot of outreach stuff. He does a lot of educational stuff for people, so that's great that he uses that side of it. But I guess, there's this idea, there's this concept of what is art, the definition of art, and it's like there is no real definition of art. But some people would say that art is not true art, unless it actually says something. And I've always seen Dale's work as it's really about form and light, but there's not really anything beyond the fundamental levels of art. He's not taking it to another level. But who knows? That's just my opinion. I'm not going to go any more on that. But another concept that's been coming up, that came up on that podcast too, is about process-oriented people versus, I guess final result-oriented people. And I'm realizing more and more that I do enjoy the process. There's a lot of the process that I get deep into, and I like to do it. However, I also know, like the way Katie talked about it, she's like, I want to make it, but then get it out, sell it. Where I'm not quite that way. It's like I really like, maybe I get too attached to my final product or something, and I really like savoring in that moment of when I finish a recording on a song, I listen to it a lot, or when I make one of my tone books, or when I make something physically, I just love to just like sit there and revel in it for a while, and I really enjoy that. Finding like playing a show is a good example too. I love the fact that I did it, like doing it, having done it is one of the best parts of the whole process. Going like, I did that, and then having like if people took photographs and those kind of things, having that proof that kind of it as well really gets me off in a sense, So there's like, I'm not an entirely process-oriented person. I'm not as much as a process-oriented person that I think I thought I was. I was just thinking about it more. I really enjoy being like after the final product, the goal. I really enjoy savoring the goal, So that's, I don't know, that's just something to think about. With the other, so I looked up the saying that we both kind of were talking about. The one that I think I remember seeing, and I think pretty sure this is it, the saying that it's start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. And that's the 3 lines saying that I've mentioned before, and Katie kind of brought it up as well. But it's a pretty profound idea. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So a couple other things to mention. I guess there's only one real other thing to mention. I'll just throw in a few other things. theZim's and Arock, the band. Oh, check this out. I did some side shave thing. I refreshed my mohawk, and then had some lines drawn. It's kind of like a Z. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is. But that was pretty fun. What else? theZim's and Arock, Brody Nation, July 22nd or 23rd. I believe the full lineup is being released next week. So look out for that. I'll be posting it and stuff, but my band's playing, so I'm super stoked on that. August 20th, the Substation. Still trying to get the lineup confirmed, but I'm putting together the 100th, kind of a live audience recording of the 100th episode of the podcast, and then it'll air about a month later after we record it. But I'm doing a live recording August 20th, so mark your calendars, come on down. It's going to be a free show, and it'll be awesome. Currently, we have DJ Vu's going to open it up. We have Honey Mustard and Tobias the Owl and theZim's and Arock going to play in the round, and we're going to talk to each other, ask questions, play songs, do that kind of thing. And then we're going to have a band close it out. I'm still working on who that's going to be. Hopefully, I'll let you know soon. I did want to mention, so what was I told you I was going to come back to something. I think it was about the anxiety stuff with the podcast. One of the things I wanted to come back to, but I'm not going to. So we'll leave it. I'll leave that for another time. But what I do want to tell you, I'm making some changes around the studio, the closet studio. So I was gonna bring you around to check out what's going on. Basically, so before, see, look over here, where it's all crazy right now. It's all disheveled and stuff because I've been doing a lot of work. Where that sofa is right there was right there was my bed, and see, there's no bed in here anymore. No bed. This used to have my bed. So I for a long time, I never liked having people come into my bedroom. But the reason I didn't, so it's like you're probably saying, why don't you just have them come, go to a different spot in your house, like in your living room? Well, because my closet studio, that you see me in all the time, right here, that's where all my gear is set up, and I didn't want to have to take it. I really don't like that stuff up there. I need to do something about that. But I don't want to have to move all my gear somewhere else and then come back, and move it back and forth. Because come into the living room, I'm gonna bring you in the living room, because I don't like to have a lot of stuff in my living room that's like musical instruments and stuff that people can kind of mess around with. I don't like that, so I like to keep it closed off if I have guests over that are not about the podcast or something else. But what I already have set up. It's gonna be dark because I don't have a light anymore. But I'm now gonna be sleeping in the living room. That's not my bed. I got a new. That is my new bed, but I got a new couch thing that's a hide-a-bed type thing. And so changes in the place, because I wanted to. Not only do I want to set my this room up as a better place for the podcast, but also for my sewing and other art. I'm gonna take this whole place, and take down all the stuff and just kind of start from scratch. So that's what's been going on. Sorry for the shaky camera if it made you throw up or sick, but just wanted to show you what's been going on in the world of Zim. I guess that's it. I should shut it down now, I suppose. But thanks for joining. Be sure to check out the podcast if you haven't already. Be sure to, subscribe to this channel. I'd love you to do that. And, I'll talk to you next. I'll just leave it at that. I'll talk to you next week. Peace out.